There was a powerful Dibia Sangoma, a charm man, witch doctor that was known all over the East. One day he came to our village and he came to the river that was there, Imo River. And that river is where it's like a boundary for him to enter the village. And he was there for hours. He was engaging the supernatural. And after standing there for hours, he turned back and went to pass another entrance. And when they asked him what happened, he said when he was trying to cross, the mermaid that's in that river came out. I was telling him that he can't pass here. The supernatural is not far from you. It's not far. They had a discussion for hours. They were contending. The man may say, you are not passing here. We are not from the same kingdom. You are not submitting to me. So go and pass on that place. What have you seen? There are supernatural activities happening around you. That is why the supernatural have to be an atmosphere you dwell in. You will know that you have entered a strange habitation by living in prayer. Your senses will be awakening. Recently, many Nigerian preachers God opened the door of UK to them and they filled the stadium. And people are saying, how you fill the stadium with only black people and you say you went to UK for crusade? Is it black people that is in UK? It's white people that are there. So you fill the stadium with black people, all Nigerians that are there, all the Zimbabweans that are there. Now listen, every day they see the complaint. This thing we are magnifying today. Do you know that Prophet Joshua, we go to Singapore, fill a stadium, and yet he was hated in the body of Christ. White people go to Mexico, we go to Peru, go to Israel, not black people, white. Singapore is not a hungry nation. South Korea, these are first world nations. Not that they are suffering or they are jobless. Advanced nation. And the only thing the church could say that is a sorcerer. What we are celebrating today, there is somebody that have done it 30,000 times. That's him. But he was not taken serious. Hear the good news. I am here to do that again. If they thought they've seen anything, the prophet said the best is yet to come in his time. The best has come now. Watch and see. Any sangoma that is visible, it doesn't have power. The real ones are hiding. People that really have power, they are not everywhere. When you go to Ichebo in Nigeria, that's where you see real sangoma, real herbalists. Those ones, they don't come and they stay on that rock. They don't see the sun. Many of them, since they initiated them, they've not seen the sun. The sun does not dry the clothes they wear. And those ones are the ones that politicians go to. They'll tell politicians are naked, they will naked because he knows where he came. They just see them in the market, in the party dancing. That don't have anything. See them in party eating here and there. No, that's not thick sangoma. All these sangoma that stand on the street everywhere advertising themselves, they don't have power. Even prophets that goes to streets here and there, everywhere there, so only talking, he doesn't have anything. Every true prophet don't stay long in a mall. Any prophet is always in the streets. He's not a prophet. Prophets are built to stay in solitude place, quiet place. If I be in the mall for more than let's say 2 to 3 hours, I will feel depressed as if I want to die because everybody's spirit is trying to talk to me there. So I will get worried. And if you don't know, you'll be thinking it's you that is sad. It's not you. Everybody's throwing their dumb for you. They want to talk to you. Both the depressed person is sending their signals to you. You are sensing everybody's signal on your own. You know when you throw a magnet where there's iron, all the iron gather the magnet. That's how a prophet is. So any prophet you always see in the market, it's a roadside prophet. You come to him and say, hello, how are you? God just told me something about you. You go to the mountain, you see them there, they are talking to everybody. It's not a prophet of God. Lucifer was not the one with the sin of pride. It's Levantine. So when you see somebody very proud and boastful, it's Levantine that is expressing himself. I told you we are all living in a bin. Is it that you are living in Christ, or you are living in Levantine, or you are living in Jezebel, or you are living in Lucifer? Just as there is the spirit of Christ, many people have the spirit of Levantine. And if they go for deliverance, and when you touch them, say, I'm the spirit of Levantine, they will see them talking, manifesting. Many of them doesn't go to church. Some of them, they are online. Whenever you preach about Jesus, they say white people have deceived you. It's Levantine that is speaking. You don't know the word you are hearing. You think everybody is like you. Jesus saw some human beings, the Pharisees, that were challenging him, and he said, brood of viper, meaning children of vipers. He said, you are like your father the devil, meaning they were not on their own. If you trust those people, they will say, I am Lucifer. Just as Jesus said, there will be an outpour of his spirit. There's an outpour of Levantine also in our generation. When you see a hardened heart, nobody can tell me what to do. I've decided that's what I will do. Is Levantine. And when that spirit have entered that person, just like the Bible says, and Satan entered Judas. Judas was sitting with Jesus. Not even Jesus could help him again. So even when Jesus was saying, one of you years are about to kill me, his heart was still hardened. He's supposed to say, Lord, if you have known, what should I do? I surrender. But to show you that when Levantine possess you, he harden your heart, he make you have no fear, and he put pride. The truth is, every human being on this earth is living in one of these spiritual body I'm talking about. Some people don't know that even Lucifer is kind. May you not be here after rapture. That's when you see hostility, wickedness, torture, pain. If you think all these presidents we have now are wicked, don't wait to see after rapture. Don't wait to see all the host of angels that are waiting for after rapture. But those ones, many of them are trapped under the water. Many are trapped in the heavenlies. They have not come yet. If you read the book of Revelation, you will see some beasts that came out from the water. They have injury. Those injuries came from the war that they had in heaven. So they are angry. When you cage a wicked lion for long, he has not been functioning the day you open the cage. That's how these angels, they fell down with wicked ones, blood-tasty ones. When the Bible said the devil took stars of heaven, wanted, meaning it's the best angels he took, the most fearful ones, the most wicked ones, and the most powerful ones. Those are the ones he took. He didn't go and carry all those quiet angels that do. If you want to understand the devil, listen to what Jesus was saying. He said, when that starts an evil spirit from a body, he said it leave and go and search for a place of rest. When he does not find a place, he returns back to that house. He said when he see that house is sweat and garnished, he goes back and carries 7 spirits more wicked. He didn't say more strong. That should tell you that when Lucifer was falling, he took angels more wicked than himself. Wicked ones are where you see their eyes. May you not be here after rapture. Because Fela was reading spiritual books. He saw a book called On Meditation, Yoga and the rest. And he followed the instruction by drawing a triangle, 2 triangles in the middle of his room. Let me not say it because some people can't practice it now. That is witchcraft. That's insanity. Oh, listen to this story. A man wanted to learn keyboard. He was the instrumentalist of old Nigerian musician, late Fela. He came to Fela's house and he said he wants to join singing. He left school to join in to sing. One day, he was in his room. He saw one book and there was something he was just chanting. For hours, he was just chanting there. And he didn't know when his spirit came out of his body. Look at him and started accelerating. He just saw a dark spot and he saw himself going by meditation. And when he got to the first heaven, he saw some being. They were not wearing clothes and they were not talking. Just looking at him, they already know what he wants. And when he came in, they said, what do you want? He said he wants to learn instrument. They were not talking with mouths. Then they said, okay, come. Which instrument do you want to learn? He said keyboard. The spirit just said, you have learned keyboard. He didn't say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. He didn't say anything like that. He said, what else do you want to learn? He said lead guitar. He said, you have known lead guitar. He said, what else do you want to learn? He said bass guitar. He said, you have learned bass guitar. What else? Drum. You have learned drum. And he returned to his body. After they finished, they opened a door for him and he returned back to his body. He found himself in that room. And when he returned back to the room, came out of his room, he was going to look for an instrument. And they said to him, where have you been? He said, what is where have I been? I just went into my room for 5 minutes. They said, no, for 3 days you've not. In his eyes, he looked at the 5 minutes. He said, for 3 days you've not been around. Then he went back to check the calendar and the time, and he discovered that he stayed there for 72 hours. But it looked like a twinkle of an eye for him. Then he went to meet Fela. He said, I want to play. I want to play for you now. Then he laughed at him. He said, you think to play music is just He said, I can play. Then they gave him lead guitar. He said, give me D flat. He played it. Give me this one. He played it. Give me this one. He was playing all instruments. He didn't learn anything physically. Just that experience. He returned playing all instruments. That is what God was saying to you. The word of God is a product. It is meditation that reveals the byproducts. Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. The book is just an ordinary word. It's just like an ordinary maze. But while you are meditating, the maze will tell you, I can produce conflicts for you. While you are still meditating again, the maze will tell you, not only. If you reach where God is sitting, you will see 24 old men, white beard. They have crown. They are always around God. They are called 24 elders. Before God do anything, he take counsel with them. The reason why every attempt the devil is doing to crush man, thinking when Adam fell, he has finished him. They were thinking when they were killing Jesus, they were ending the Messiah. Everything they are doing is advancing man to redemption. Because before God took decision, he had counsel with the elders. And when they gave him the counsel, they programmed the counsel to the extent that anything the devil thought is mistake is for the advantage of man. Everything the devil is doing to any believer is to advance you, not to destroy you. He said everything work for good to those that love God. In those days, the first thing every king does is to look for counselors. When you have a good counselor, your counselor will be able to tell you, listen, your equipment for war is not enough compared to those people, so relax. The Bible said David fought 66 battles and never lost any, because every time he want to fight, you hear, and David inquired of the Lord. He does not just go and fight. He will want to know the counsel. By wise counsel, wage war. You don't fight battles with weapons. You fight battle with counsel. That's why many fighters, if they defeat them too much, they change their coach. Because it's not about the fighter's ability and power. Because it is skill that make fight, not power. Anybody you see that is always sleeping around is not ordinary again. He's an evangelist. I'm telling you, he's recruiting people to darkness. They use sex to recruit people. Whether you say he's rich, he's poor, he's not longer an ordinary person again. So don't look at somebody and say, oh, he's rich. The devil is used to recruit people. He's not ordinary. There's nobody that kind of person sleep with that will remain the same. So in ministry, sexual lust catch you and you keep on sleeping with people, you are now an evangelist. The devil is using you and power is coming out of you. If you can't be content with one wife, sexually you are losing power. Let me tell you something. One of the way the devil used to remove your mind from power is discontentment, because the devil will take things from you when he finds that you have greed, covetous, lustful. All those desires are where power leak out of you. Godliness and contentment. If you must be powerful, you must practice contentment. If the devil find that you are covetous, power will be coming out of you. You can't be powerful and be covetous. You can't be powerful and be sexually immoral. No. You might be famous on social media. It doesn't mean you are powerful. The devil knows you are not doing anything to his kingdom. Hitler killed millions of people. If at Hitler's death day he accepted Jesus as Lord and personal Savior, he will go heaven peacefully. Because the blood Jesus shed is more stronger than the price of sin. When Adam and Eve sinned, they went to look for leaves to cover themselves. God killed animal and clothed them. Without shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. After that, Cain and Abel sacrificed to God. These are the two first people to erect an altar. And Abel brought blood of animals, and Cain brought fruits and plants. The Bible says God respected Abel and his sacrifice, but he did not respect Cain. Every altar is identified by blood. Altars are measured by the blood that is there. Sacrifice have weight. Anybody that can sacrifice more on earth here, he will rule on it. Even if he's an unbeliever, they will not make heaven know. But on earth here, they will rule. 3 kings gathered together to go and fight one king. And God himself was the one that spoke to these 3 kings. He said, go and fight this king, you will defeat him. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too fierce for him, then he took his eldest son and offered him as a burnt offering. And there was a great indignation against Israel. So the blood of that his child reacted, and Israel could not withstand the force of that sacrifice. The battle scattered. The game changed. So sacrifice is a game changer. If you are losing the game in your family, God is showing you that's the way out. In those days, the Catholic priests told people that for you to make heaven or go to hell, you have to be giving them money. Is when you pay them very well, you are safe to make heaven, because they were the only one with the Bible. Even the government were paying tax to the church those days. There was no Bible in that generation. The Bible was only written with Latin, and only the priests could access it. It was called the Dark Age, because people don't understand how to serve God. They were serving a God that they did not know. And this man gave his life. John Wycliffe tried to make sure that the Bible is translated from Latin to English before he died, and for that they burnt him alive. You see this Bible you are carrying now, he paid the price for it. In the 13th, he was burnt alive, and 40 years after his death, they still say they should go and exhume his corpse from the grave and burn it to ashes again, and was thrown inside the river, because the priests of those days don't want anybody to access the Bible. Another father of the Reformation was Martin Luther. There was a picture they posted to him about Jesus, that Jesus was sitting waiting for who to condemn and how to send people to hell. In those days, priests built their gospel with guilt and fear. So people were coming to church because they were scared, and they saw God as a monster, to the extent that Martin Luther began to call on God religiously, because they told him that it's the amount of work you do that will make God justified. So he was praying for 7 midnight. He could not sleep. He was just praying religiously, and he went into 4 days dry fasting without eating. He shut himself up. He did not have access to the Bible. They were deceived by the priest that this is how to please God, until he found the Bible. He got access to the Bible. He became a priest, and he knew that justification is by faith and not by the works of men. You have your Bible. What have you found now? It's a curse or a woe to our generation if we have this Bible that people paid their life for. I will just keep it under our pillow. For the Bible to be translated into your language, into English, into different versions that you can read. John Wycliffe was the one that saw that vision and started it before he was killed. Christianity has been traveling a long journey to get to you. The Bible you are carrying have traveled a long journey. People have died for it just to get to you. Men gave their life. John Calvin, Martin Luther, John Wycliffe. Now, if that age was called dark age because they don't have access to the Bible, now we have access to the Bible, we can read it. Our age is called darker age. Do you know why Nigeria is suffering? Nigeria, in the realm of the spirit, when they calculate people that enter heaven in a year more, is Nigerians. Don't look at Nigeria and say they are corrupt, they are thief. No, in the spiritual realm, God does not play with them. The Holy Spirit revealed this to me, that the reason why Nigeria is suffering more, they have human resources more than any nation in the world. Nigeria is going under besiege, spiritual besiege. The gate of hell left all nations is focusing on Nigeria more. They know that there's a fountain that is running from Nigeria to other nations. Nigeria is a spiritual Israel. That's why as many enemies besiege Israel physically, that's that many demons, gate of hell is open against Nigeria spiritually. Satan himself is looking at Nigeria with a very wicked eye, because every season, every year, when they count people that make heaven more, is Nigeria. When you die reach heaven, you will know what I'm saying. And they have what it takes to save other nations. So what you are seeing that happened to Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar is what is happening to Nigeria spiritually. Nigeria have been besieged. The king is not the will of God again. He has been captured. The finance is going down, and the human resources are the ones that haven't tried their best, going to different nations, and now they have even turned some people that are very intelligent to become thieves on internet. The human resources have been used by the enemy, because the nation is so powerful, but the gate of hell is after Nigeria. And just as there was a funny, very furnace, and they say if you don't bow, we'll increase the furnace. Nigeria is in a furnace, very furnace. Go and ask God what I'm telling you. Go and pray. The more when somebody sits on a laptop and begin to defraud somebody in America that took all their years to be working, maybe they pay them $5 million as pension money, then one small boy that is just 50 years that just want to drive Benz, just want to be squandering money around, begin to press laptop, deceive that person, and that person fall in love with you online, and you tell the person, I'm a prince in my nation, my father died, I just need this amount of money because my father worth $100 million, so we just need like 2 million or 3 million or 5 million to just pay the lawyers for them to rewrite the will to my name, and the 100 million will be mine, and when I get my 100 million I'll take it to Dubai. And someone pay their hard-earned money that they have worked for 35 years, and they send it to you, and you say, Maga don't pay, Mugu don't pay, he has fallen into my trap. They begin to build house in Africa, buy Lamborghini, buy Bentley, you are squandering money, you go to club, buy a suit, buy different drink, champagne, you are raining everywhere. Why somebody is in pain, somebody commits suicide, that is blood money. If you buy a car, it's a blood car. If you defraud anyone, he's a fool. You have duped that person, and you use that money to be buying land, buying house. Everybody, both your father, your mother that is eating that money, your wife, or your children, they are partakers of blood money. They are children of blood, father of blood, mother of blood, cow of blood, buildings of blood. Open your eyes and see. Many people are eating blood money, they don't know. Even those they share the money with are partakers of that blood money. Some people think Nollywood is a joke. Nollywood is not a joke. Anything that a demonic nation is doing, respect them. If Limpopo people act a movie, believe them, and they act witch. If Limpopo acts witchcraft movie, believe every details of what you see there. So when you see Nigeria acting movies that they are doing witch, they are not joking, it's an inspiration. When the Apostle Ayo Babalola was alive in Nigeria, before he came, the way Nigerians have accessed spirits like no other nations. So when he went for revival and everybody repented, he said, everybody bring your charm. When they loaded the charm, it was high to the level of a 3-story building. Charms, gods. And when he said they should burn it, a demon jumped out and called the owner's name, Funke. This is not our agreement. Live. They carried the idol and threw it back. It came out again. He said, this one you are doing, this no one will agree. If every nation act a movie that consign them, they break the market. If Chinese act Chinese movie because they don't match art, people buy it. Because that is their nature. If Americans act a movie where they are shooting gun, you believe them because true, they like shooting gun. There, somebody can just wake up in America and is depressed and go to where there's restaurant, shoot everybody, then shoot themselves. That's why their movie, if they produce a movie of shooting, it goes far. So Nigeria was producing who we were. So when Nigeria acted a movie called Egg of Life, Igodo. If you don't know, go and download and watch Igodo. Or Egg of Life. In the movie called Igodo, they said the nation needed help. And they have to go and get something in the evil forest before they can bring it to the nation. Then animals will not be dying anyhow. People will not be dying anyhow. There will be water, there will be everything in land. So they selected all the strong men in the village. And they went to evil forest. It was a journey. And many of them died. Only the man called Igodo came back with what they went to look for in that journey. Have you asked yourself why a church will start in a nation and they crush the church down? The journey is difficult. Have you asked yourself why some pastors go to a place to pray? Immediately the pastor went there to pray, they kill that pastor. Or some people become Christian in a family and immediately they start the journey, they kill them, or they stop their business, or they stop immediately you gave your life to Christ. Look as if they tie everything you had. There's a journey. When Goliath was ranting and crying every morning, tormenting them, he said, if he's able to fight with me, he said, choose a man. If he's able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servant. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servant and serve us. Every day he was saying this. Who is your family serving? You think they are serving God? Until a champion arise and confront it. We have many Christians that settle as if they have arrived. Paul said, this one thing I do, forgetting the things that are behind, I press. So what's the mark of the high calling? Your call, God called you, is a high call. And you don't attain that high call until you press. You press in prayer. You press in fasting. You press in discipline. Longevity of prayers. When I studied the spiritual topography of where I came from, I discovered that my father was carrying the biggest masquerade in my village. I discovered that we were answering the name of the river the mermaid. Our surname before was the name of that river. We're called Wimo, meaning children of Imo. That's what we were. You don't study the spiritual topography of where you came from. How will you fight? What will you know you are fighting? Before David went to confront Goliath in Psalm 136 from verse 16, he said, you slew when the children of Israel were passing through. He said, to him who led his people through the wilderness, for his mercies endures forever. To him who struck down great kings, for his mercies endures forever. And slew famous king, for his mercies endures forever. Sihon, king of the Amorites, he was a giant, for his mercies endures forever. Og, king of Bashan, for his mercies endures forever. And gave their land that the giants were possessing as an heritage, for his mercies endures forever. A heritage to Israel's servants, for his mercies endures forever. So there are giants that are standing in people's family now, standing in people's promised land. Your promised land. In every man's promised land, there are giants. That was a quote from Bishop David Oyedepo. He said, in every man's promised land, there is a giant. You will meet that giant. And when you are ready to confront it, even in cities, nations, territory, there are giants. You see Goliath's threat, the Bible said in 1 Samuel 17 from verse 16, he did that for 40 days. How many days? And the Philistines drew near and presented himself 40 days, morning and evening. He was challenging them. Come out and fight! Morning, when you wake up from bed, is his voice you will hear. Anytime you wake up in the morning and hear a voice of depression and confusion, is the giant that is calling you. He said, come out, you. You are sleeping anyhow, joking around. You say you are a Christian. Come out and fight. And some of us don't know that these giants have been calling us for many years. You are waking up depressed over and over again every morning. For 20 years now, 10 years, 5 years, the giants have been calling you. In my village where I came from, if a pastor goes to that village to preach, he comes with fire. Those pastors that when you greet them in the morning, they say, Rakubaba, ready. They don't speak English, they speak tongues. If that pastor stays 6 months in that place, Imo, that river, we give that person women. They will start sleeping with people's wives, and they will leave their revival, and many of them are driving bike as I'm talking to you. They will be a shadow of who you knew them to be. When you come into a nation, you see big women, big bomb and everything, you think is a jubilation. There is a spirit in that territory that is feeding you with the wine of that nation. Whether you are a pastor, whether you are a prophet, whether you are a bishop, whether you are a Christian, you discover that you begin to have spirit of lust. You forget why you are here. You forget why you are a Christian. You forget who you are and begin to become who they are. You just enter a nation, you discover everybody is a drunkard, drinking like no man business, and you begin to drink and say, thank God beer is cheap here. Say, if I just take 500 rand, I'll bottle everybody around me. So whatever. So whenever you enter a family, enter a nation, enter a territory, study the spiritual topography of that nation. Because a principality have blindfolded everyone in that city. So Daniel, there is a revelation you need to be exempted. That's why he went for 21 days praying for understanding. Or else, if you don't have understanding, what cover Babylon will cover you. The sin, the limitation that family have will confront you, will cover you also. You need a spiritual revelation to break out of that pattern, of that covering that is covering that family, that is covering that territory, that is covering that city, that is covering that nation.